guys, welcome to part 2 of my anxiety at a convention kind of blurble kind of thing that I'm doing. This video will be mostly focused on crystal healing and energy sources for those of you who kind of believe more in energies affecting both negative and positive, affecting how your anxiety works and just overall how your body reacts to things. And if you're an empath, like me, I'm a sorry. I didn't actually think how I wanted to word this, because most people think I'm kind of weird and crazy when I talk about this, but as some of you already know, I am an empath, which means I soak up a lot of the energies of other people around me while giving way too much energy back. Like, I don't have enough of my own physical energy, and I'm not taking in a good amount to circulate and balance out everything that's going on around me. I'm taking in way too much in it and putting out way too much of my own, so it kind of makes everything imbalanced, and in turn it makes my anxiety worse. This is my crystal box. I use a lot of crystals for everyday use and for cons especially. This is what I have things set out over here that I'm going to be talking about, but this is what my inside looks like. Everything just fell over. Oh my gosh. Normally I have these set out so they can charge, but I'm currently doing stuff to my bedroom, so I'd like to have them in a box. That helps them kind of keep centered. I'm just going to show you what ones I usually carry around, what their purposes are for me personally, and their overall purposes, because while stones do have their own meanings and have their own ways of working and their own energies, at least in my belief, it's also its connection to you and the energy that you put into it and the intent that you put into its use that also gives it what you need to help you in the long run. So I'm just going to be showing a couple things from the box, and then I have things spread out that I usually take to cons. For my everyday use, I usually use these just in the morning. So like, I do this kind of ritual. I kind of put them towards the chakras that I most identify with, or the ones that deal with my anxiety or deal with whatever that I need to be cleaned out and dealt with during the day. Oh, there it is. There you are. There we go. Okay, so what I use every day, and some of this will not be pictured because it's stuff I took to a con, so it's in my con stuff. So usually I have my rough, this is just a simple clear quartz point that I like. Quartz is very good for diverting energy, so I use this as a guide. I take this to school. People look at me kind of funny when I'm playing with it, not when I'm using it, and I'm just twirling it around, but it does honestly help. Like, I usually use my right hand because that's how and I imagine my energies flowing through all my chakras into my heart and down, out, and I release. Now, normally I use it to kind of direct where I want things to go. If I'm feeling overwhelming, I will take it like this, so it's kind of not quite pointing at anything, but it's kind of in a neutral blocking position, so I can just kind of hold it like this and just negate whatever's coming at me from that particular direction. And it does honestly help. I'm pretty sensitive to anything with a little bit of spark, like a little bit of a spark of energy in it, so it's like this nice little tingly feeling, and it's warm and I love it. And it's one of my favorites to use just because it's simpler to use than trying to find something that's specific, and it can be just a little bit less anxiety inducing than running through my bag trying to find like my amethyst or my malachite or something like that. So that's what I use day to day, to just direct things. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I could usually use some luck when it comes to this kind of thing, when it comes to my anxiety and life in general, so I like to use citrine for that. It's actually I can't ever decide if it's my birthstone or topaz is, but whatever. Tomato, tomato. But sorry, getting off topic. Anyway, I usually use this just when I feel like I need just a little bit of a push, because it's something I do identify with very well. It's got like this one has a nice orange auburny color, which I'm absolutely in love with. That I like to use. I usually have it near my pillow so I can sleep with it and have lucky dreams. Um, and then I have citrine like jewelry that I wear because yellow is my lucky color, which does help with both my happiness and my anxiety. Like if I have something that kind of reminds me of the citrine and reminds me of my lucky color. The next thing I use is actually a stone very good for anxiety. And so far, like, I'm not gonna go through all the meanings and all of the uses that you can go through with this. I'm just talking in terms of my anxiety and stuff that I use them for, because I have researched them, but I cannot memorize things ever. But I like to use fluorite. This is the one I use in the mornings because I usually always have it somewhere where it's charging. Until I'm using it. It's kind of, you can't really see it, but it's like this nice little minty green color. I also have this in like a cage necklace that I wear at cons. The next thing I use is malachite. I have a pretty small piece. I'm hoping to get a bigger piece. Do not get rough malachite. I can't actually remember why not. I would Google it because there's a reason you don't get rough malachite, but I can't quite put my finger on it, but I don't know. It's in there somewhere. If I blur it out, then that's what happens. But malachite is very good for like dispelling negative energy, and if you have depression, which makes it even harder on your anxiety, then it can be very helpful for kind of neutralizing the negativity that you're having during the day. And it's nice banded green color. Hold on. Doesn't want to focus, but it's got like this nice banding in it, and it's a very pretty color. So I do love malachite quite a bit because it's just because of that negative energy purification that it does, and it's very good for me to use with my quartz because teenage angst at school happens and I like to have it around, so I'm like, oh, I don't need that in my life. Keep away from me, please. The next thing I use is agate, blue agate. It's like this nice sky blue. I like this mostly because I can't remember if it's for negative energy or if it's for anxiety, honestly. I kind of use it for both because blue is a very, very calming color for me, and the bands, like counting the bands helps me calm down a little bit, like just inspecting the cloudiness, and it makes me very happy, and you can like feel the pulsing come from it. And agate is a very good stone. It's very versatile depending on which type it is and what kind of banding most resonates with you, and it's a very good thing to have in your collection. The next thing I have is amethyst, which I think is for protection and anxiety. I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry if I'm getting some of these wrong, but it's, you know, I think I will try to put some of the meanings down in the description just so that it's there. You might want to double check me, but it's personally what I use them for and what you can use them for. And I know a lot of people identify with amethyst, and I'm pretty sure it's for protection. I actually have an amethyst point necklace too that I wear underneath my clothes. It's very nice. So those are things I normally grab out of my bag if I'm feeling overwhelmed and anxious. The next thing that I grabbed, if you're someone who kind of worries quite a bit, I actually do use like a pendulum. Divination really isn't my thing. If you know me personally, you know I do tarot cards. I mostly do my own, which I know is kind of taboo, but you know, it can be relaxing just to know what your options are and to have a definitive answer to questions that you're having, your insecurities. At least for me, it's very calming. But this is my pendulum. It's like a star-shaped quartz, and I like it. I love it. I got this in Lava Hot Springs, so it's got like this nice deep set energy into it. Like most of my stones I got from a shop called the Dancing Crane downtown here in Salt Lake. Or like my quartz all my quartz I have gotten from Lava Hot Springs at the Purple. Is it the Purple Moon? I think it's the Purple Moon. I'm pretty sure it is. Which is this nice little crystal shop. It's very relaxing and it has a very good energy. The things that I wear normally at cons, these can be kind of a problem if you're wearing a binder and you tuck them in because they do press quite hard then. I'm gonna get some, like a bag or something better to put these in because it can leave bruising, but if you're not wearing a binder and your clothing isn't really that restricted, this is nice to have. It's a nice strong chain that I have them on, but they're like these cages that you can buy. This one is blue agate and this one is fluorite. And it's meant for your heart chakra, so I keep them normally like right about here, right near the nearest that I can get it, or sometimes if I have like a little shirt pocket that's closer, I'll plop them in there. Like with my 50s jade, I did that, and with Armin, I did that because it's right there. It's nice, it's up close, and it makes me feel very safe having it there. For my I do use stuff for like my nervous stomach. Like I said in part 1 of this, I do get kind of nauseous when I'm anxious, and that's where I can't figure out what this is. I'm pretty sure it's carnelian. I have 2 carnelians. I'm pretty sure this one's true carnelian, but this might be agate. I'm not sure, honestly. But carnelian is very good for nausea and negating negative energy, and it's very, very nice for like your... Oh, now I can't remember my chakras. The one that's over here, nearest your stomach. It's very good for that, as is tiger's eye. Now, I love tiger's eye because it's also a protection stone, and it's very in tune with everything else. Like I identify very much with tiger's eye. It's a very calming stone for me, again, because the banding, and every time I look at it, and flex it in the light, it's got some sort of new color in it that I never saw before. It's new shade of brown and amber that I just adore. So that's most of the crystals that I use either daily or at cons to kind of try and help myself feel more centered and more at peace with my energies and help to align my chakras. The next thing that I do is kind of in tune with my breathing techniques from part 1. If you've watched that, and if you haven't watched that, I do recommend that you do. But with my doubles, once I reach 8, I keep doing my 8 count, in for 8, out for 4. I keep doing that, but while I'm doing that, I try to imagine my own energy, this like cycle going up through my toes and through all my chakras, out the top of my head chakra, and just circulating back down. Like it's almost like a wheel going through. It feels like that to me. I visualize the feeling more than visualize things in my head, because if you have seen part 1, you know that visualization, it doesn't work for me very well. And it's more like the feeling of me manipulating my energy to kind of flow into my body and recycle and kind of just let the negativity dissipate from the top and then bring the good energy back in from the bottom. So that's what I do with my to pair with my breathing techniques. Something else that I do is, it's a blocking technique. I'm not very good at blocking myself. When I talked to an empath at the Mystic Fair in Sugar House a few months ago, and that's where I kind of found out that yes, I am an empath. I had been researching it for a little bit, and I thought, I don't know if this is me. I don't know if this is what I'm feeling, but she really did confirm for me that yes, you are an empath. Yes, you are taking in so much energy, and I can help you kind of calm yourself down and help you not deal with other people's energy as much. So basically what she told me was to imagine a calming color, and my lucky color is yellow, and it's it's soothing for me to imagine it. So she said, just imagine yourself in a bubble, and you know how I am, I don't do imagery, so what I do, she said to almost feel like it's like a cage, or not like a cage because trapping. Sorry, I don't know how to explain it quite well, but it's like putting yourself in a bubble. If you've seen Steven Universe, then it's like it coming from your being and then just kind of forming around you to form like this safe, very calming bubble. It's warm, it's nice, and all that's in it is your energy. And you imagine like something solid keeping it together. Like mine is a golden light. I first wrap myself in a white, kind of misty, very calming atmosphere. I make sure it's misting all about my body. Then I put up the yellow bubble so that I breathe in and then I breathe out, and it just gets bigger until it's all around my space. And then to complete that, I do the breathing, I do the circulation, and I imagine like a golden light coming around my bubble. And that is what dissipates the energy coming towards me. Now, if you're someone who is not quite great at blocking like I am, and if you want to start blocking, what I recommend is that you do try some imagery, because it did help me. As much as I don't like using imagery, it did help me to, in this respect, to imagine outside of my bubble like a flower that I really love, or like just an object that you really identify with, and imagine that taking in the energy and then you filtering it through so that it dissipates in your bubble, so that yes, you're still taking in the energy, so that it's not just stagnating and trying to come at you, but it's also not jabbing you right in the core of your being, as it does for me. So usually I will imagine like a poppy or a daffodil or a daisy, like just sitting outside my bubble, and then I imagine mostly in color, so I'll have like all these different colors coming forth, and they'll be going to the daisy, they'll be going to the flower, but not to me. And then when I'm finished, when I'm calmed down enough, I keep my block up, I take the object away, and I filter through the energy myself. And usually it's more calming because I'm surrounded in my own space. Even if I'm like in a very tight and close space, it feels like I'm just surrounded by something warm, something that is entirely part of me, and that is very comforting for me. I think that's about it for now. I might do another segment on this, covering other stones, other techniques, if that's of interest, but for now, that's basically what I do energy-wise to kind of keep myself in control at cons. Just whatever works for you. Have the stones that you identify with the most. Maybe do some research and figure out which ones would be best for you to use based on their uses and their meanings. And then just go from there. Just try to keep yourself in tune with yourself, with your own energy, because that is the biggest point. Is if you were not comfortable with strangers in the first place, then you don't want their energy coming through you. It can be very exhausting, it's tiring, and overall it can cause you to spiral out of control. At least if you're like how I am, because that's how I feel. It's unfamiliarity and it's fear, and the fear of other people and negative emotions of other people. They slice right through me, and it's not a good experience, honestly. So if this was of help, I'm so glad. If you have any more questions, or I don't know, things that are just popping into your head, or anything else that you might want something discussed and I have something to input, then maybe I will make more videos. If not, then at least this is out there. I'm sorry for my awkwardness, but I really do hope that some of this was of help. But I will see you later in my